Many years ago, when Lou and I were newly married, Lou had an uncanny way of knowing that every once in a while my day at home had been a particularly stressful one. He coined the phrase, "You need a me night." That meant he took the kids, he put dinner on the table, he helped with homework and helped with baths and bedtime, while I got to go upstairs and read a book, watch TV, or take a bath myself. It didn't happen very often, fortunately, but I'm certain many of you can remember days like that. Just an ordinary day. Today may not be exactly like a me day of the past, but I felt the need to pamper myself just a little. It's a gorgeous end of summer day with the sun shining so beautifully. I knew I had to spend some time outside, so I decided to begin my day with a nice warm foot bath out on the deck. I have a favorite Epsom salt I enjoy. It smells so wonderful. Here you can see our dishes piled up here. They're clean, but our dishwasher just broke. Yes, so we are washing by hand for now till the new one arrives. All right, I got my water a little bit too hot, so I have to let it cool down a little bit, but that's okay because I really need to take care of this bread here. This is my sourdough bread. It's called a boule, B-O-U-L-E, and I'm going to just flip it over and give it a little slit just so that it has a way for some air to get through it and helps to puff up the bread. Unfortunately, this bread did not puff up as much as I wanted it to. I mean, you'll see it later, and it looks just beautiful, and boy, it tastes fantastic. But it'll fluff up good enough for me in the oven when I put it in that hot Dutch oven. And it is hot, so always wear the proper mitts when you're working with those hot Dutch ovens. And it's about a 450 degree oven today. In my bread, I always like to add a few extra things like some protein powder, a little bit of protein powder, some flaxseed meal, and a little bit of nutritional yeast. That is so delicious in bread. And I have a feeling, since I've been doing this lately and my bread has not been rising as full as I like it, I think because I've added those things, I think that might be the reason. But it tastes so good that we don't care. We make it that way anyway. I finally got the water just right and made it out to the deck. You can just see what a beautiful, beautiful day it is. Lou bought me this chair recently. It's just an old plastic one, but it was perfect. I just needed a little something to come out here and sit on the deck and take in a little vitamin D. And so it's just working perfectly for now till we can get a nice, I really want one of those nice Amish wooden ones. We had one years ago, but I'd like to have another one again. So maybe for my birthday. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, and here he comes. My sweet husband brings me my favorite book that I'm reading right now. I'm going to share that with you in just a little bit. And my drink, that's some sun tea that I made the day before with some lemon and some organic allulose. I'll tell you a little bit about that another time. Yep, I am still sitting outside. This day is just too glorious to give up. And I'm telling you guys, this book right here in front of me, I think it's a bestseller, New York Times bestseller list. This book is excellent. It will change your life. I'm telling you, I'm about a third of a way through, and I can't even believe the things that I'm reading. I encourage you, if you'd like to get this book, I'll put the link below. If you buy it through me, through my link, I get a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of money from Amazon. It's just so minuscule, it's not even funny. But I would appreciate it, of course. Every little bit helps my channel. But even if you just go and buy it yourself at a bookstore or whatever, just get it. That's all I care about, is you just getting this in your hands and reading it. Yeah, it could change your life. Oh, I could smell this bread from out on the deck. I could. It's not quite done yet. At this point, after about 30 minutes, I just take the lid off and let it go for, about 12, 13 minutes. That just helps to brown and crisp the top. But in the meantime, I need to do some work outside on the back porch. Sometimes screened-in porches can be a little bit of a mess. You really have to kind of keep up with them. And I try to. I really do, because we spend so much time out here in our summer house that, if it's dirty and dusty, who wants to be out there? So all I do is just take a clean little rag. I just put a little bit of warm soapy water on it, and I just go over the tops of things, where the dirt and the dust and the, just the stuff that blows in from outside, and I just kind of dust it off. I don't get fancy. I don't take a bucket out there and scrub everything down. We do more of that kind of a cleaning at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season when we close up for the year. But during the the months of summer, this is all I do, and it takes care of it perfectly. So if you have a screened-in porch or even a deck, really, just go out there every once in a while with a wet rag. You'd be surprised what you can handle with a wet, soapy rag. I think my dad taught me that. And I think wherever I go, I usually have one, just in case something needs a good wipe down. But yes, we do enjoy this porch more than I can even say. And I'm telling you something, if you're here for the first time, you may not know this, but we are looking for a new house somewhere about 3-4 hours away from here. We've not been able to find anything yet, but I'll tell you, when we do, we have to have a screened-in porch. We've had one with every single house we've had, and we have loved it so much that I just feel like I would be lost if I didn't have a screened-in porch. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have this little extra special place to come out to. We have been so very blessed. We have such wonderful neighbors. We have very quiet, peaceful neighbors. The neighborhood is that way. And it's a little piece of heaven out here on this porch. I wish so badly that every one of you could be sitting out here with me right now, and we could be having some iced tea and just having a good old chat. We would. The things we talk about. Diets, losing weight, getting old, but having a wonderful life. Our precious grandchildren, many of us have grandchildren. You tell me about them all the time. Here is this beautiful little arrangement that I put together with the seashells that we brought back from Florida. Isn't it pretty? I put up some of that beautiful white sand from Destin and the candles. It looks so pretty out there at night. It's just beautiful. We sit out there at night because we have pretty lights out there. We sit out there all the time. We even sit out there in the rain. Now here's a little tip for you. For those of you who use a Dutch oven and do sourdough, use a stainless steel, really sturdy, good spatula to just dig it out of that steaming hot pot and put it up on your cooling rack. That way you never ever take the risk of burning yourself. You see, there it is. That slit, there's that little slit that I put in there. You can see it. It's just beautiful. And that is one yummy, tasty bread. Lou is going to enjoy that thoroughly. I usually make a loaf a week just for him. Oh my goodness, Darlene, what are all these toys? You guys are never going to believe this. Of course, because we're thinking of moving, we're trying to move, we are very packed, very packed. And all the toys for our grandchildren are packed away. And our grandchildren are coming in 2 weeks, and I'm panicking because I have no toys for them. I had nothing. So we have the best neighborhood in the whole world. And I put out a little note on our neighborhood Facebook page, and I said, oh my goodness, I need some toys. Does anybody have some toys for? And then I put the ages of the kids. And you know what? Before I knew it, boxes of toys showed up on our front porch. And this is some of them. Look at these. We have these little Django games. This little thing here, this is filled with all these little tiny cars. My grandchildren, their ages, 6, almost 4, 3, and then just infants, 2 infants. So they won't obviously be using any of these toys, but the 3 older boys, they are absolutely going to love going through. It's going to be like Christmas. They love these little magnetic blocks like that. They're so much fun. And look at this, a whole big bucket full of these little chunky, they're almost like chunky Legos. They're just so much fun to put together. Then the kids sit there for hours. But look at this. My oldest is going to flip over this little munchie. He loves Legos like crazy. And this whole big bucket, somebody just brought it and just put it on the front porch. And he will tip that out. I can see him doing it and put together some of the most wonderful, fun creations. But that's the kind of neighbors that we have. And we are just so very appreciative of them. Just all kinds of toys, all different ages. They will sit and have so much fun at Oma and Opa's house. And I am so very excited to see them. It's been quite a while. And then you're not going to believe it. More boxes appeared on the front porch. Yep, more. These 2 gigantic paperback books. They are so much fun. They're very colorful. The boys love stories and Pinocchio and Peter Pan. I think they're going to love these books. I really do. I've even packed up most of their books, so I don't have books to read them, so that's perfect. These sweet little learning foam blocks, I think they're kind of like puzzles or something. I think we'll have fun with those. I think those will be Really nice. And the lady said all the pieces were there. And then check these out. I'm telling you right now, these 3 toys right here are going to be the most well used. And I think they need batteries, but we'll make sure that that gets taken care of before they get here. But those 3 trucks right there, yep, those are going to be the most well-loved toys. Don't we have the best neighbors? We are so, so blessed. Hey, Brownie. Yeah, even Brownie likes to find the sunshine. She comes out here and finds a little patch of sunshine and lays here for most of the day. Sometimes I just love to just go outside and just walk around our lot, our little property, and just, you know, sometimes things need weeding, sometimes things need picking up or straightening out or whatever. But these little lambs, this little lamb family, I've had them for so long and I just adore them. They make me smile when I look at them. And there's my little rooster. And that's it for the homestead, guys. That's all we have. But they make me happy, so we keep them. This little area right here, I wanted to show you. You know, when we first moved in here, it was just so muddy and wet all the time. The water would just kind of collect down here. It wasn't stagnant water. It would just be wet, you know. And we tried to grow grass. We tried and tried. We did at one point, but then it washed away again. And so finally Lou said, well, you know what? Let's just pile it up. We'll just dedicate this little area to a kids area, which is what we did. We put a nice little rock liner towards the front, so it looked really pretty, and we just literally loaded it up with mulch, really, really thick mulch. And that has been perfect. We put the toys out there, the kids play out there, they have just the best time, and we don't have to worry about them being wet or muddy or anything. And each year we bring in a little bit more mulch, and it just works. So if you have a wet area somewhere in your yard, and you think maybe a little bit of mulch might help out, give it a try. It has worked really well for us. Yes, we had something very sad happen just recently, just a couple weeks ago here at our house. We had the most gorgeous, huge, it was over 40 years old, about 45-year-old sugar maple right in front of our house. That was just so picture perfect. We loved it and enjoyed it so much. The kids would climb in the trees with their friends. But sadly, it just got sicker and sicker the last few years, and recently we had to have it cut down. And I'll tell you what, I cried. It was painful. And now every time we turn the corner and, you know, come home, we see this big old emptiness, and it was quite sad. And I'm still trying to get over it, and we're still trying to decide whether we want to put a new tree in or just kind of leave it. It doesn't look real good right now. They did take the stump out, so what's left is a little bit of sawdust, and I'm not sure how we're going to clean that up yet. If you have any ideas, let me know. So on to our simple supper tonight. A wonderful simple supper. I had a roast that I bought, it was quite a while ago, and it was huge. It was so big. I knew it was way too big for just Lou and I, so I cut it in half. I never did that before, but I figured, surely you could do that. So I did, and I cooked half of it before, and it was delicious. And I put the other half, I vacuum sealed it, and then I put it in our freezer downstairs, and I grabbed it for tonight's dinner. Got it nice and hot in there, and seasoned one side, and then seasoned the other side. I'm going to cut up just a little bit of onion. You know, onion does have a lot of carbs in it, and sugar, natural sugars, of course, but it still works that way in your body. Your body doesn't know that it's an onion or a lollipop. So you have to be kind of careful with that. But yeah, I just put a little bit in there just for a little tiny bit of flavor. And then I'm just going to season the other side and get it nice and brown. Browning your meat is so important. I never really thought it was. Usually I just threw it in a long time ago and I would just toss in some veggies, you know, but it really makes a difference when you do brown it, and brown it really, really well. So here I'm going to talk about those cabbages again. Again, if you saw that, I hope you go back and watch that sauerkraut video, because it was so much fun. It was so informative, and if you ever love sauerkraut and want to make it yourself, it's a really good video to watch. I took off a chunk of one of the 3 huge, massive cabbages that we bought when we were up in Lancaster. They were 8 pounds a piece. So I thought, well, I could certainly spare a little bit for our dinner tonight. So I chopped it up, and I put the onions in, and then I put those cabbage in there with a little salt and pepper and a couple pats of butter on top, and it was delicious. All right, my dinner's cooking away. Let's do a quick check on our sauerkraut. My last video I did, if y'all missed that, you need to go check it out. We made our own made sauerkraut. This is about the 5th day now. It's been sitting on my counter and I've been collecting the juice that comes off of the sauerkraut here. We're just gonna lift the lid and give it a good check. Yours should look just like this, starting to get a little milky looking, not quite as clear. I don't see any floaters. You see a lot of white, gassy bubbles around there, and sometimes when you lift off the lid, you might see like a whole bunch of them. That's okay. That's the fermenting process taking place. That is all good. And all the sauerkraut is fully covered, so it's going to be great. I don't even smell anything. Somebody said they thought maybe it would smell, but it doesn't. It just is beautiful. Well, I just refilled it and looked at it this morning. I scraped off a little bit of the foam that was on top, but you don't even have to do that. I do that because I'm a little bit of a neatnik. Maybe that's why my sauerkraut always comes out good, but I don't see any floaters in there, and it is looking good. All right, I'll put those lids back on, and that's it. We'll check on them another time. Hey, if you want to learn how to make sauerkraut, go back and look at my very last video. It is a wonderful tutorial on homemade, gut healthy sauerkraut. Well, I bet you can almost smell this supper. Look at that. It was so delicious, I have to say. It was moist, and the cabbage, you know, the cooked cabbage and the sauerkraut are like two different animals. They really are. And we enjoyed both of them this evening. It was a wonderful, wonderful supper, and we ate out, of course, in the summer house. It was still warm and beautiful outside. It was a lovely evening. I wish every one of you could have been here with us. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you'll join me in my next video. Bye now, and Lord bless.